Say what you like, but it's different when you're standing in front of it. There's nothing to hold on to, no glimpse of a distorted reality that you could then piece together with some effort. No, it's like staring into deep time, or deep consciousness, or maybe just deep layers of dripped-on paint. Art like this is polarising. Some get annoyed that there seems to be no skill attached. I could have dripped paint onto a canvas on the floor. Yes, you could have, but you didn't. We can look at a Rembrandt, or a Monet, or a Hopper, and we already know what we are seeing. It's that scene, that object, that building, those people. We can look deeper at, say, a Hopper, and feel timeless, lonely, disconnected, and a range of other emotions conjured up by the people, their faces, and how they are placed in relation to the objects. But not here. Pollock was an abstract impressionist, an art movement that originated in New York in the 1940s. You take abstraction to the limit and expressionism to the limit, and we arrive here. Here we see, well, nothing that we can settle upon. The painting's original name was Number 11, 1952. But, and apparently with the artist's blessing, it has been known as blue poles for most of its existence. Yes, there are blue poles in the painting. The poles are the only things that our brains can latch onto, but at the same time they provide nothing helpful at all. No clue as to meaning. What are these poles? Why are they there? In what context do they sit, and what are they trying to convey? When it was just called Number 11, 1952, did we think about those blue lines differently? In a dreamlike way we stare in, hoping that, like those magic 3D pictures of the 80s, if we stare long enough a reality will suddenly resolve. But it does not. The painting process was certainly unorthodox. Pollock himself described it, and notice you hear this that the painting is almost 5 metres across and around 2 metres high. I prefer to tack the unstretched canvas to the hard wall or the floor. I need the resistance of a hard surface. On the floor I am more at ease. I feel nearer, more a part of the painting, since this way I can walk around it, work from the 4 sides and literally be in the painting. Australia bought this painting in 1973 for $1.3 million. At the time it was the most expensive painting the country had ever bought. The acting director of Australia's National Gallery, James Mollison, did not have the authority to spend more than $1 million, so the purchase was approved, famously, by the Prime Minister Gough Whitlam. There's nothing like paying a lot for a controversial artwork to wake the Philistines up. Having the Prime Minister associated with the painting politicised the purchase. There was the usual ballyhoo about what real art was. Lurid stories of Pollock using nude models covered in paint running at canvases, and other shock horror stories of drug-fueled artistic creations. As if drugs and nudity were in some way unheard of in the artistic endeavour. But I digress. Art historian Patrick McCaughey said of blue poles, "Never had such a picture moved and disturbed the Australian public." The press, I dare to call them the Philistine press, was determined to use the painting as a visual representation of the profligate nature of government spending. That money could have been used for schools and hospitals and was now being squandered on this dripped-on monstrosity. I said it was hard to determine what we were looking at, but the popular press knew exactly what they saw. A government that had lost the plot, a money-wasting purchase that made Australia a laughingstock. Look, they seem to say, the Emperor has no clothes and the Prime Minister can't even see it. Like most things in life, there is a side to art that is financial. Artists have to eat too. But one would like to think that the great artists are driven by more than mere money. We can certainly look at someone like Van Gogh, who never made a living from his art, and recognise that more than a monetary reward was in play. Blue poles is considered to be worth around $350 million now. A staggeringly good investment, having outstripped inflation 28 times. But that is not the point. It was never the point. So what is it about blue poles? Does it attract its constant stream of visitors because it is famous, or is there more? You have to spend time in front of it. As you do, you are drawn in. For me, I do start to see 3 dimensions. A whirling maelstrom of primary colours and deep chasms, an infinite regression into multiple layers of reality, islands of form and unnerving whites falling away into foaming creams, frothing to the surface before being carried down again into the impenetrable depths. The act of trying to make sense of it becomes an exploration of consciousness itself, a giddy ride deep within, a moment to reflect on the infinity of time, deeper and deeper into the clashing and whirling unknown. In a moment we can see ourselves as a speck within a greater world, a wider universe, a deeper meaning than we can grasp, forever just out of reach, shimmering on the edges of our conscious understanding, taunting us. Or maybe it's just a whole lot of spilt paint. But before falling into a reductionist understanding, see my video on Magritte's The Treachery of Images. Take a moment to consider that all art is just the arrangement of physical forms to represent a deeper meaning. And don't be too quick to write off blue poles. If dollar value is a measure of art, and I don't think it is, but at least it's objective, then enough people in the world think that blue poles is valuable to make it probably Australia's most known painting, and certainly its most valuable. Makes you think. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please press like. If you want to be notified when I put out more reactions to great art, please subscribe. See you next time.